Vietnam in Age of Empires 4. Yes, you just heard me correctly. It's happening again. We have got a new civ added to the game, courtesy of the community. First of all, really big shout out to Chile Empires for the design of the civ, and an even bigger shout out has to go to Hosen, our resident mod creator, who created Persia and has now also added another new civ to the game, because this right here may look like China, but it is in fact Vietnam. And we are going to have a play all 5 show match to show off this new civ. So we're going to start off with a mirror between these two. Both players are playing, and you are already seeing an Order of the Dragon farm, I guess. This is kind of insane. So they have a lot of unique quirks. We'll try to go through as many of them as possible. Just to highlight the map, this is a unique custom map. It is high view, but actually good. It's called Pigeon's View. Kaivayu, the guy who created Moving Out that you're seeing in tournaments at the moment, created this. Go give it a check out as well. You can also get your hands on the Vietnam civ to try for yourself right now on the mod store. It's created by a guy called Hosen81. That's the one you're looking for. Definitely download it. But introduce the players. We have got Gully, Deco, and Dragavan. It is indeed the battle of the toddlers here to try out the new civ. In fact, they loved playing Persia so much in that last show match where we paid them. They said, we'll just play this one. They didn't even care about money. They said it was so much fun, they just wanted to do it again. So let's talk about a few things that the Vietnamese do here different. You may be seeing a mining camp right now, but that's not the only way you can drop off resources. Do any of you like worker elephants by any chance? Because this civ actually has mobile drop-off buildings that function as everything. And I'm wondering if we're going to see them quite quickly in this game. We're already seeing these openings on the rice terraces. I should explain these a bit. These are more expensive farms. They cost 100 wood instead of 75. But your villagers gather 30% faster from them. They are noticeably bigger. But where this game gets really interesting, and I think we're going to be seeing it, it's Po Min Tower time. So what's so cool about this landmark? It's what it's going to enable. Because something that the Vietnamese do really well is they make the Mongols jealous. Like, I read the PDF document for this civ, and my first thought is, Mongols just standing there going, are you a joke to me? These guys don't build outposts. They build hideouts. And hideouts are pretty bloody strong. 75 wood instead of 100. They build quicker, and they have another few quirks about them. They give a movement speed buff to infantry. They have less garrison spots, but they're inherently kind of just as good as 5-slotters because a funky detail about this civ is that the emplacements have poisoned arrows on them. So Po Min Tower's coming up. This is really cool because not only is it just kind of a defensive landmark to stop you from early cheese play, the other thing that's really powerful about this is all of your outposts get turned into production buildings. They basically allow you to produce any type of infantry out of them, but it takes 75% more time, right? So like a spin takes, was it usually 15 seconds? Instead, it would take you, I believe that would end up being 27 seconds. A little bit surprised no one's tried for the outpost shenanigans yet. It looks like it is on the way, though. Dragavan moving forward for the outpost. I knew he'd be the first one to make the move. This is another reason we started off with a better version of High View, is we thought this would be really fun, because something I noted when I was looking over the Vietnamese document, this is a civ that loves stealth forests, not just because of the hideout rushes, but they also have this quirky little thing here called an explosive trap. So the explosive trap is quite a funky little thing. In fact, let me just quickly switch over so that you can kind of see it without too much in the way. Just my head. Okay, that's not going to work either, is it? Have I got the... Let's go win cap. So, just to quickly show you this detail, read that. Nearby enemy units will trigger it. After a 1-second delay, it will explode, dealing 30 damage in an AoE. They're like a little mini demo ship on land. What's even cooler about this, not only just villagers, but light infantry can build them as well. And also, they recharge every 180 seconds. So you have to target them with range units to get rid of them. That's going to be really important to keep an eye out for, especially in these stealth forests. So outpost lock in. We've got deer shoving coming in as well. That's interesting. Is he going for an elephant? Because this is the thing, there's another landmark choice that allows you to build elephants out of it at a heavy discount. I think it's 50% off, which is significant considering these elephants, these moving drop-off, universal drop-off locations, cost 150 resources normally. And this landmark, I think this is a neutral asset, if I remember correctly. Merlin did use this in his King of the Hill land, King of the Hill mod, I remember. Yeah, look at the production times I was talking about. Spearmen take 26, Archer take 26. You can even use them later to spam arquebusiers. Yes, you heard that correctly. This Civ has arquebusiers. But notice these outposts aren't quite flimsy. Only 600 HP to work with. It's interesting that neither player tried an outpost rush. I guess it's because the matchup they're in, like if you outpost rush, your opponent would just counter outpost and they'll probably to poison you quickly. We have got a second TC coming in from Gully though. Stable's also being prepped behind this. There are no unique cav units. Well, there is a unique cav unit, but it's not your atypical cav unit. It's elephant oriented because this Civ actually has a certain rocket launcher that I'm hoping we'll see a bit deep in this game. Archers on the way though, and this is for a very good reason. Archers are really beneficial for multiple reasons for this Civ. For a start, your houses actually buff the damage of nearby melee and ranged infantry. Actually, they have the cav one as well. I don't know if that one was intentional. Yeah, you heard that correctly. These are like static bannermen. On top of that, this Civ gets 5% more gathering for each wood tech upgrade. Instead of 15% per level, it's 20%. And then on top of that, yes, I'm not done yet. This Civ has something bonkers in their archery ranges, but he hasn't got one to shirt yet. They have a unique tech that gives them an extra 1 ranged armor. I think this Civ is going to be very much feudal focused. I think that's what Dragavan's here to show. In fact, I'm a little bit surprised we haven't got blacksmiths yet for a guy who's infamous for his clown carring. Needs to be careful. Notice the poison arrow there. Oh, by the way, I believe Hosen fixed the way poison arrow works compared to Malians. If you guys remember, Malians, there's stacks to a certain degree, and then it doesn't overstack. From what I read on the PDF document, the poison infinitely stacks with the Vietnamese. A lot of rice terraces coming in. And yes, you can actually do Persia versus Vietnam. I look forward to the point where Hosen's added 16 civs to the game, and he just combines all of them into one tuning pack. Dude, I swear, Hosen needs to get a job at Microsoft. They need to offer him one. The fact that he's fixing things they could never figure out, because you guys remember, for a long time, Malians were meant to be able to stack toxins infinitely, but it doesn't work. Looks like we've got Fast Castle on the way. Before they tech up, let's have a look at the landmark choices. Dragavan, he could go for the Resistance Headquarters, which is just basically a TC. I think that might be where he's going to kind of catch up with Eco. I personally love this. The Imperial Citadel is sick. It's a keep that gives you this cool ability called tunneling. Now, what makes tunneling so amazing is it allows you to garrison units inside it and then ungarrison them at another castle or a TC or another landmark. So I'm hoping we're going to see that coming out from Gully Deco. I think it's actually potentially a really strong thing here. It reminds me of Dawn of War. Dawn of War with the Winter Assault added the Imperial Guardsmen, and Imperial Guardsmen had this thing where the Raxes could garrison units inside, and then you could send them to different Raxes elsewhere on the map. It was so fun. And yes, traps only 25 wood is definitely one thing I'd already highlighted. I think they probably should cost 5 or 10 gold, especially considering they can auto-refresh. We haven't seen a single trap yet, by the way, which does surprise me. Headquarters about to complete. Okay, I gotta give it to Hosen. This choice of building for the Resistance Headquarters somehow fits, right? When I look at it, I kind of just get that feeling. Like, I've played those kind of games growing up. It's almost like a Maple Story-esque where you just go to the ninja hideout. This is kind of what it would look like. So yeah, this is basically just TC. It's essentially King's Palace. Only it's better than King's Palace because it has the 5k HP, right? The reason why you might make cavalry in the late game instead when you have that teleportation ability, by the way, is one important thing to note with it. Check this. It does have a substantial cooldown. 120 seconds. So you can't just spam it back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. 120 seconds is a very long time. I think it's going to be most useful for arquebusiers in the late game. I hope we get to see these arquebusiers, by the way. They are kind of like Azutsu. They're a hand cannoneer that has an AoE splash damage. Gully, close to his tech up. Horsemen weren't able to slap, and the crossbows are going to be able to scare him away. Oh, another funny thing about this landmark I forgot to mention. They're stealthed. If Gully was here, he wouldn't be able to see them. You heard me correctly. Your villagers and traders both get stealthed by this TC. I think that has a lingering effect as well, right? Oh, that's a... Okay, Hostin, that looks like a UI bug. They keep the stealth even after they leave range. Wow, what? So neither one of them even wants to try using the alternative. It is going to be double resistance headquarters coming in. Wonder how invisible they are? Not as invisible as you guys in the tree lines. No traps being added yet, by the way, still. Could be really advantageous up against these horseman raids, especially. I think the traps are going to be very valuable when you're up against Cav movements, just because Cav will not be able to easily react quick enough before they run in range. Moving in, though, after the tech up comes through. First Lancer tries to body block off here. Outpost being rushed up, but not quick enough. He's got to back away. Gully, a little bit of a panic here. Stealth villagers are about to reveal themselves at the worst possible time here. Oh, actually, no, Dragoman, no, big mistake. He pulled the scout back. If he had the scout in, he'd see all these villagers right now. He could just shoot whatever he wants. Instead, it's going to be a bite back here. So Gully just trying to reclaim the front of his base again, and we've got it coming. I wondered why it was taking so long. This is the tech I was talking about, Rattan Shields. It's actually a feudal age tech, and it gives you a +1 ranged armor for all ranged infantry. Even the late game ones, your hand cannoneer boys. So crossbows, archers, and arquebusier. It's not as strong on an archer as a scale armor that the Order Dragon has, but it has that same kind of value, just flexibility-wise, right? Instead of having the +3 on one unit, you've got +1 on each unit. And yeah, I already assessed this, but I felt like the landmines might be just a bit too cheap. Still shocked we didn't get a single one, though. That might change as we go deeper into the series, though. And look at this. Empty gardens. Oh, that's cool. So this is a unique tech that lets you get the houses 50% cheaper. I think it's locked behind feudal, though. It's still decent to get at this stage of the game, though, right? You've got a long way to go. And the reason this is important is, remember, these houses are a damage buff. So actually, Vietnam are pretty good defensively because of this, even through outposts a week. Is right now, if you look at these archers, they are getting that Yumi Bannerman effect. Same with the horsemen. In fact, Dragoman really benefit from bringing one villager up here to set up an outpost for the movement speed aura, and then set up a house for the damage aura. Like, once again, this is just a better version of Mongols in my eyes. You know what is kind of surprising me, though? We haven't seen a single elephant. I could see other maps it being good. Like, for example, Prairie would be a perfect example where elephants would thrive, right? Because you have to move tree lines so often. But I guess I can kind of see why it's not really coming out here. Wait, is he building mines? What? Wait, what? Okay, dude, I'm not going to lie. I played too much Red Alert 3 because I'm expecting a guy to jump out of the ground and ambush me. Little teepees in the ground. I mean, even if it wasn't an explosive, if you landed on that, oh. So those are the mines. So he's got a little fallback point here. I love that he just done it right on the edge of vision, so I don't think Gully saw it at all. Interesting build speed on them as well. Dive in. Garrison move towards the TC. It's going to be a dive past. Gotta be careful. Dragoman does have the military lead, but he could easily lose it with these type of dives. So it's going to be a backup. Remember, these are all poison arrows coming out. So notice the health starting to just tickle down. Oh, that's interesting. So the poison arrow, I think it only comes out from the emplacement shots, if I remember correctly, because I think I read that. Ooh, that's an interesting thought, Hosen. Does it affect all types of emplacement? Because on like the keep, right? I guess not. It's just going to be the primary, right? Yeah. So you don't stack 10 shots of poison, which is reasonable. It would be broken. But the one every flurry can add up in those early defenses. Oh, okay. Wait, no, does it apply to every arrow shot? Because it didn't look like it by the numbers on the health. It only looked like the primary arrow attack was doing it. All arrow. Okay, I stand corrected. Huh. Felt like that was quite weak. Boom. He's still got one more explosive trap sitting here undetonated. Outpost now being rushed up as Gully Deco needs all the food he can get. This clash looking pretty damn good. The house, a clutch reaction by Gully, but unfortunately, too late. It's going to have to back off here. Dragon was like, hey, these are pretty good. Remember, these do 30 damage in an AoE after a 1-second delay. All siege damage, so no damage reduction coming out. They can be sniped by ranged attacks. They have quite a lot of health, though. 60 health for 20 wood is a... Well, 25 wood, rather, is a pretty good deal. You target them with range units. You can click on them. Although they do feel very hard to click sometimes. Yeah, okay. So, Hosen, you're going to have a problem with this Civ. You see it, right? Sometimes it's actually really hard to click them because of, like, trees. You know, I felt that these were going to be OP. I just didn't think that was going to be the reason. How long until the recharge? I don't see a cooldown indicator. But I imagine we've got like what, an extra 140 seconds to go. And wait, why do they have 50 ranged armor? Oh no. Hosen, did you miss that detail? I think that may have been an oversight in the mod with testing. Unless they take bonus damage, but they don't. Yeah, these are broken. These are actually broken. It's intentional? Wait, so how are you meant to kill them? So it is meant to be melee. Is that what you're saying? I feel like that's so difficult. So I guess the optimal strategy then is to run one unit in, trigger the detonation, and then run in and melee them afterwards. Damn, that's strong. Don't worry, guys. Just pick GG. Lancer Horseman raid coming in. Gully has found a flank point here. Eco lead starting to inflate. Dragoman has got 5 relics. Yeah, I actually think these are going to be broken. Maybe if they... It's almost like they need to... You know what they need? They need melee vulnerability. Melee vulnerability times 5 or something like that. They actually... That's the way you fix it, is you take the RAM melee vulnerability and amplify it. Or maybe times 2. I mean, I would actually be a big fan genuinely of the friendly fire thing. I kind of wish they had friendly fire. Culverins would not be able to one-shot them. Culverins at 85 base, so they take 2 shots. Trebs, now with the siege. Dragovan. You know, he could actually just be saying... He's actually setting up more in here, isn't he? Guys, this is why we picked this map to open. There's an explosive trap right there. He has no way of seeing it. It's so perfectly masked. Okay, so I praise Stealth Forest. I love Stealth Forest. You're now just trying to justify the players who want Stealth Forest nerfed. Raid coming through from the Lancers. Well, he's in a bit of a pickle, though. Army noticeably weaker on the front line. Only thing I'd criticize here about Dragon's play right now is no house. Like, you're missing out on so much damage for your army without a house here. We have got 2 6 slots locked in, by the way. Something that is feasible on this map that is not feasible in high view, and is why you guys should be playing it and making Reddit threads telling everyone this needs to be added to the game so the devs listen. Because this is 100% a better high view. Dragon. Sieging down the headquarters. I don't know if Gully's going to be able to get out quick enough on this. Yeah, because of that detail. Okay, Dragavan went a bit overkill. Remember, when you build too many things close together, it does do this to stealth for us, so there is a chance Gully sees it coming. The problem is, like, what do you do with that info? Not walk in and kill the siege that's killing you? I don't think that's an option here. Hey, what's up, my boy Excessive Profanity? Big shout out Excessive. He's playing through Songs of Conquest at the moment. Hopefully having a good time with it, buddy. You came in the perfect time for some Vietnam War. Backstab coming through. Wait for the detonation. Wait for the... just... there it is! My Little Pony fans in turmoil right now. And now the extra detonation comes through. Oh my god. Dude, he's so dumb at this game. Golly, surely there's no coming back here. So much army lost in that fight. Sacred Site timer is still ticking down. Second landmark now being sieged. Dragavan. I mean, I guess we can't fault him. At least he didn't resort to clown carring. Thank you very much, not your pop of the Prime sub. Remember, guys, get those Prime subs in. You don't want to miss a moment. Listen, with how quickly those explosions can end a fight, I wouldn't want an ad creeping up on you in that very moment. Gully has to make his stand before the min tower goes down. Wait, guys, if you build a min tower and then get a cannon emplacement, is that a min-max tower? All right, I'm going to stop now. We've got serious action happening here. I kind of want them for every civ. I mean, Gully has just no way in now. Maybe he should have focused on raiding more. He did try that backstab, and I mean, the problem is you basically have to get in and get out before the mines detonate. I do think also the mines need some indicator that they're on recharge visually. Because otherwise you just don't know when you can safely go in. I think that's going to be a big problem with Take 1 of Vietnam here. The mines for many reasons. But visual acuity and understanding is a big one. Second landmark down. Mango Wallop comes in big. And Gully, he can't afford to back up here. He has to go in, which means he is definitely going to get wiped. Crossbow stand their ground. Kaz been wiped. That is going to be the end of Little Gully Deco in game number 1. Looks like Dragavan is going to get a pretty convincing win in the Vietnamese mirror. But fear not, folks. This is indeed a playoff 5. So we've got 4 more games featuring Vietnam coming up here on this channel. I don't think the recharge is the ridiculous part, by the way. It's 180 seconds. I'm kind of okay with that. They just need to be like easily killable for 25 wood. And you need to know when they're actually on cooldown. I don't mind I actually genuinely don't mind the recharge that much. Because at 25 wood anyway, it's like Le Shrug. 180 seconds is a long time. Gully vacating the front of his base. He seems to refuse to admit this game is over, which is surprising. I mean, he did dent Dragavan's army pretty heavily. He has still his economy alive behind this. The bigger issue now is going to be production. He has started to ramp up stables on the east side. And just to confirm for everyone coming in, if you want to play this civ, you can do it by playing with mods. This is a mod creation. Chile Empires came up with the design concept, and Hosin executed on that to develop it. You basically install this tuning pack, and then when you pick China, you get Vietnam instead. It is publicly available right now. Anyone can try it. Cannot play it on the ladder, obviously, because it has to be a modded game mode. But I definitely recommend everyone giving it a check out, give it some feedback. 6 mangoes? Okay, okay, you know how I said this game's over? Like, there is a world in which Gully just wipes everything. Oh wait, okay, no, there's traps. Trade out the Springles. Wow, he frontlines with the mangoes to bait the trade. That's perfect. I mean, dude, he lost 2 mangoes but got rid of all the anti-siege. Horsemen now riding in, but the traps have been set. And the villagers went in early. That's going to force the detonation on perfect timing here. Horsemen get wiped out. And he is out of this one. Vietnam. I thought this was meant to be like medieval imperial, but apparently we are just going to the 20th century Vietnam because there are traps. Traps everywhere.